So as you begin to ink this next drawing, you want to start thinking about what areas are important to you, what you want the viewer to focus on, what type of drawing you're making. Look at the references of how other people have approached inking, and decide what you want. For some reasons, you might want to have a more architectural look to it, so you find yourself using a lot of the ruler. In some areas, you may not want to be using the ruler. Uh, that's probably because you want the drawing to have um, a more gestural sort of approach. So you want to just freehand it, right? So in this case, what my decision was is to keep more of a freehand look, and I am going to use the ruler in certain areas, and that's because those areas probably need to be a little bit sharper, so it doesn't look like it's completely dilapidated or a house in shambles. So you'll see me pull out the ruler, and areas that look more organic, I'll freehand. Um, if you don't want it to look like it's like falling apart, a good idea would be to just use the ruler consistently, especially on architectural areas. Using the ruler for bushes and things like that is definitely gonna make it look less less believable because they start looking kind of robotic. Um, Also think about the area of emphasis. What do you want us to focus on? What do you want the viewer to focus on? What's the important thing to you? If there isn't anything that's really important, just focus on a corner of the house, the corner that's closest to you. Add more detail there and let some of the details fade away as it goes away from the viewer. Also, pay attention to the stairs. Make sure that the stairs are, even if they're not perfect, if that they are at least to some degree proportionate to one another. As you begin to wrap up the drawing, think about what details you really need to have and what details you really don't. And the more information you add, the more attention you bring to that, but also the busier you make the drawing. And sometimes a busy drawing can sort of begin to distract from what your intended purpose is. Um, in this case, I want to make the details just enough to make sure that I describe the textures that the house is made out of. That it's not a brick house. That it has shingles. Um, that has a on the top it has solar panels, so the roof is black and it has like a little bit of a shape to that, and it's solid. That there's some bushes and things like that in front. There is grass, but if I started to detail the grass and the patches of green and patches of brown areas of the grass, it might start getting too busy or too much work there, too much stuff going on. There are some houses, the neighbors, and there's some bushes and some clouds in the sky. I can decide to keep those, but in this case, I'm just going to use the outline of the bushes or the trees, and that'll be, I think, enough. I'm going to delete the neighbor's house. I don't really don't want it in there, but I do feel like I need something there, so I'm just going to probably extend the trees around and pretend that I don't see that house in the distance there. And once I'm satisfied with enough detail, then I just stop.